Hindi nakakapagbasa. Yun ay basic explanation lang naman about dun sa mga key concepts na i-discuss today, which is the trust available, trust required, power available, and power required. So, yung relationships none with each other will allow us to understand the important aircraft performance characteristics such as the maximum velocity, climb performance, glide performance, range and endurance, which is i-discuss natin today. Pero I don't think matatapos natin hanggang range kasi 1 hour lang pala tayo today. So, let's begin with the thrust available for jet aircraft. So, jet engines generate thrust by accelerating air rearward. So, that is from the basic propulsion equation, which is hindi ko na-discuss because hindi naman natin siya gagamitan. Pero on the next subjects, you'll discuss the propulsion equation or the mga rocket equation and so on. So for the turbojet or turbofan engine operating under safety conditions, both the mass flow rate and exhaust velocity remain approximately constant over the range of flight speeds. So as a result, yung thrust output niya, hindi siya nagbabago significantly with the velocity. Makikita natin yan later sa graph niya. And kung ginawa niya yung activity, magigets na kung bakit yun. So, kung ipa-plot natin yung thrust output, thrust available versus the velocity, which is yung activity nga, yung curve, nag-appear siya almost horizontal. So, yung characteristic na yun is one of the defining features ng jet propulsion system. Kasi at very high speeds, slight variation may occur due to inlet pressure losses and compressor performance limits and compressibility effects. But overall, thrust remain relatively constant kasi kaya siya almost horizontal. Later, papakita ko yung graph. And then for the thrust available naman ng propeller aircraft. For the propeller aircraft, the behavior of the thrust available is fundamentally different. Hindi ko pala nabura yun. Nag-try kasi ako kanina magsulat. So, hindi ko pala siya nabura. Moving on. So, for the propeller-driven aircraft nga, iba siya from the jet engine air, aircraft na may jet engine. So, yung jet engine is almost horizontal. Ito naman is pa-curve. So, yung propeller engine kasi nagpo-produce siya ng nearly constant power rather than constant thrust. Kung ang jet engine is related to thrust, nagkaklase po. Sir, nagkaklase po. So, wala ako. So, power is related to thrust by the equation nga. So, di ba ang ating equation, ang ating formula for the um, power ng propeller aircraft is thrust times the velocity. So, kung i-arrange naman natin is thrust is equals to power times the velocity. That is why very dependent yung thrust sa velocity, yung performance niya. So if the engine power output remains approximately constant, yung equation niya nag-show na yung thrust must decrease as the velocity increases. So physically, nag-occur siya because yung propeller transfers because yung propeller transfers engine power to the thrust through the acceleration of air. So, as the forward velocity increases, less thrust is required to deliver the same power. Therefore, kapag pinlap natin yung thrust and velocity graph, yung thrust available for propeller aircraft appears downward sloping curve. Chinek ko na yung ibang mga activity and kita ko naman na tama yung graph nila. Pero hindi ko pa nababasa yung mga explanation nyo and later pa siya isa-check. So, with that graph, na-explain kung bakit yung propeller aircraft um, are generally more efficient at lower speeds. So for the thrust required, this is just a concept kasi, di ba na-aral naman natin siya. Pero, meron kasi nalilito dun sa before nating discussion, yung thrust required, di ba, at steady level flight, lift is equals to weight, thrust is equals to drag. And then, nung sa prelims, nung tinanong na kung anong thrust required, hindi na nasagot. Pero, just so you know, um, since ka steady level flight pa lang tayo, and static performance, thrust required or thrust is just equals to drag. So, yan, same formula lang. And later, makikita nyo din sa derivation ng iba't ibang equations na lahat nanggagaling lang din sa formula ng lift and drag. So yan, moving on, thrust required represents the amount of thrust necessary to overcome the aerodynamic drag during the steady level flight. So yun nga, kagaya ng sabi ko, under steady, unaccelerated flight conditions, thrust is equal to drag. Therefore, yung thrust required is essentially equal to the total aerodynamic drag, which is the CDO plus CDI. The parasite drag and then the induced drag. So yung induced drag, madami din nagkamali dun sa ating prelims. So induced drag is associated with lift generation and dominates at low speeds or low velocities. Yung tatandaan nyo kasi, diga, sa induced drag, siya yung may CL. So siya yung associated or dependent sa lift generation. Naapektuhan siya ng lift. Wherein yung parasite drag naman, parasite drag coefficient, or the parasite drug, it arises from skin friction, pressure drug, and interference drug. Basically, hindi siya dependent sa lift kasi, kagaya nga ng sabi ko before, ang aircraft meron na siyang parasite drug kahit hindi pa siya lumilipad. And kagaya ng sabi ko, yung mga relationship na yun, makikita niyo yun sa formula, sa mga formula natin na kagaya nun, the induced drag or the CDI, meron siyang, ang formula niya is ZL squared over pi EAR. So with that, makikita na natin na dependent siya sa lift or nagbabago yung value niya would depend sa ating coefficient of lift or the lift itself. So with that, at low velocities, induced drag yung nagdo-dominates and then high thrust is required. And then at moderate velocities, drag reaches a minimum value. And at high velocities naman, parasite drag yung nagdo-dominate, which is additional thrust required naman yung needed. Wala pa yung graph pala here. Sige. Move on muna tayo sa power required kasi magkakasama kasi yung graph ko ng thrust available and velocity ng jet and propeller aircraft, and then yung power available and then velocity. So later pa to discuss. So for the power required naman, nagre-represent naman siya ng rate at which work must be done to overcome drag force. So, yun nga, ang ating power for the jet engines is usually rated in thrust. And yun, thrust is force with units newtons. Meron ako nakita ng mga nagda-dimensional analysis, mali pa. Yun ay, di ba? Ano bang problem yun? Yun lang sinabi ko na parang yung mass natin, kilogram mass pa yung given, is, um, wait lang, sa pen ko. Yung given dun, ito, dito makikita natin na yung trust natin is kung bakit siya Newton and kung bakit mali din yung mga directly nag-convert ng kilogram mass to Newton. Parang hindi ko alam kung saan nila minultiply pero basically mali siya. So basic physics, the given is kilogram mass. So para maging Newton siya, kailangan pa natin ng meter per second squared. So, kailangan pa natin siya i-multiply with the gravity. So, yan. Bago siya maging Newton, hindi siya pwede directly convert. Kasi yung kilogram dyan sa Newton natin is kilogram mass. Yun lang. I-discuss ko lang ulit kahit na hindi na siya need dapat. So, wait lang. Oh my God.
Okay, kahit po talaga. So, differential, so if f of x is made up of t of x plus t of x. So, um, for me, this is, I call this distribution property of differentiation.
So, yan. Moving on. For example, dito naman natin is, for example natin is the Pratt and Whitney. Ang engine niya nagpo-produce ng 98,000 pound force yan of thrust. So, yun lang naman. Alam niyo naman na yan kasi na-discuss na natin yung thrust before. So, for the piston engines naman is, it is rated in terms of power naman. So, yan nilagay ko here, yung mga usual conversion na gagamitin. Kasi baka magkulat na naman kayo kasi magdadagdagan tayo ng conversion syempre kasi may power tayo. So, energy, note that energy is expressed in joules. So, ang unit breakdown ng joules is kilogram meter per second, kilogram meters squared per second squared. So, yan. Tandaan niyo yung mga yan ha. And not only tandaan, pero from the most basic unit breakdown, alamin niyo para pag nagko-compute tayo, alam niyo kung bakit nagiging ganun yung units ng hinihingi natin na sa problem. So, yan lang naman. Hindi ko na siya i-discuss kasi that's basically just the conversion ng HP. 1 HP is equal to 550 feet pound per second. And then that's also equal to 746 watts. So, yan, for the power required na, yun yung nabanggit ko kanina na power required, nagre-represent siya ng nire-represent niya yung rate at which work must be done to overcome drag forces. So basically, this is just the graph of the power required. Note that the power required is a function of velocity and it has two components. So power required is equal to drag multiplied by the velocity. So because the drag itself varies with the velocity, yung power required natin nag-exhibit ng different curve shape compared sa thrust required. So at low speeds, induced drag is large, therefore power required is also high. And then as the velocity increases naman, induced drag decreases. And then yung power required natin, nagde-decrease siya until it reached the minimum. Beyond that point, yung parasite drag naman, nag-grow siya rapidly. And then yung power required, nag-increase pa rin siya. So, the resulting power required curve has a minimum point which corresponds to the maximum endurance condition, which we'll discuss on the latter of the um, discussion. So ito lang yung mga problem, formula for the power required. So as you can see, here is the thrust required or the steady level of flight condition that's equal to the total drag. And alam naman natin na drag is 1/2 density V squared S CD. So, doon makikita natin ito yon SCD. Tapos, here CDO siya because this is the CDI or the induced drag. Kaya siya alam naman kung bakit, gets naman kung bakit naging ganito to, no? Basically, kung i-compute mo siya mano-mano from the drag, alam niyo naman yan, magigets niyo naman yan. Pero just so malinaw lang, this is from the formula ng lift natin or ng CL natin, which is the lift is equals to 1/2 density V squared SCL. And then here, since nga wala yung CL natin, magiging L 2L squared. Tama ba? Yes. Density V squared S. Or since nga L is equals to weight, magiging weight to. So yan. That, I think ginabasan niya. So, ito yung final working formula ng power required. So, yan. Dito naman sa power required, usually ano naman siya, direct substitution kasi kita niyo naman, na nakapag-compute naman na tayo ng mga ganyan, ng mga drag, ganyan. So, just like that, ganun lang. So, ito naman yung alternative approach naman ng ating power required. So, since na TR, di ba ito yung alternative approach natin ng TR, weight all over CL over CD. So, power required is equals to thrust required or the weight all over CL over CD times the velocity or and for the velocity natin, ito yung working formula. And then, yan. Yan. Mga working formula natin. Magbibigay na ako ng not ngayon kasi wala ako dito naka-ready. Pero, same lang yan dun sa mga before natin. Basta take note nyo lang yung mga working formula natin. Dito naman is the minimum power required. Hindi nyo hahanapin itong minimum power required unless otherwise stated. Hindi nyo hahanapin ng lift to drag maximum natin unless otherwise stated kasi doon sa last time madaming ginagamit to and hindi siya hinahanap. So yan, take note lang. Take note yung mga working formula. Summary lang to. This is na-discuss na natin before. This is the working formula for the thrust required. This is the working formula this is the alternative approach. And then, same with the power required and alternative approach ng power required. Sa minimum thrust required naman, again, kapag hindi sinabi sa problem na at minimum thrust required, hindi equals ang CDO plus CDO at CDI. Hindi rin gagamitin ng CL over CD max unless sinabi sa problem na at minimum thrust required. And then ito naman, VTR ni or the minimum thrust required velocity at minimum thrust required. And then at minimum power required naman, ito yung condition natin. Then this is the formula. Yun. Tatandaan ha, at minimum power required lang and at minimum thrust required. And also ito. Wala tayong sample problem pa dito, pero makikita niyo if ever, kunwari, seat work or activity, that's just basic, ipa-plug in nyo lang, kagaya ng mga before. So, for the power available, nagde-depend siya strongly on the propulsion type. So, kaya hinihiwalay natin yung for propeller aircraft and for jet aircraft. So, kasi, pag sa propeller aircraft, power available is approximately constant with velocity appearing as horizontal line on the graph. Makikita natin mamaya. And then, however, yung propeller efficiency decreases at higher speed. So, effective power may drop slightly. So, dun lang siya nagva-vary with depends sa propeller efficiency. So, ito yung graph niya. So, for the power available natin kapag propeller aircraft, um, propeller efficiency times the power. Yun lang. Magagamit natin yan sa mga susunod na problem. So, this is just the concept. So, for the jet aircraft naman, jet engines produces approximately constant thrust since um, power is equals to thrust times velocity, power available increases nearly with the velocity. So, yung power available curve is in an upward sloping line. Yan. Ganyan yan. So, tatandaan niyo yung graph ng for propeller aircraft natin pag ganon. And then for, this is power available ha, power available, and then this is velocity. And then for jet aircraft natin is the power available to, yung velocity, pag ganyan yan lagi. So, yan. Yun lang yung difference nila. Kasi nga, yung jet engine, nagpo-produce siya ng constant thrust. And nag-i-increase yung power available natin linearly, kita naman natin, with the velocity. So, kaya naman pa ganito yung ating sa propeller aircraft natin kasi nagbabago yan. It depends sa ating propeller efficiency. Kasi hindi yan constant. So, next, ito naman yung power available versus thrust available. So, ito yung kanina, 'di ba? Yung sa propeller, at this is propeller, and then this is for the jet. So, ito yung graph for the power available and then velocity ng jet engine. And then ito naman, ganito naman, yung sa thrust available. Parehas lang siya na parang almost horizontal. Yan, pa ganyan. No. Pa ganun. Basta tatandaan nyo, kasi makikita nyo dun sa through the graph, makikita nyo kung saan siya dependent, kung how the power available or the thrust available, yung relationship niya sa velocity. So sa thrust available naman, pa ganyan siya. So, moving on to the rate of climb. So, dito na natin magagamit yung mga kanina and yung mga before. Ito na tayo. So, to derive the rate of climb, starting from the force balance along the perpendicular to the flight path, we begin with the basic equation of motion for an aircraft climbing at a flight path angle theta. So, in steady climb, yung forces along the direction of motion must be balanced. So, with that, T minus D, thrust minus drag minus weight, sine theta is equals to 0. So, rearranging, we'll have T is equals to drag plus weight sine theta. So, yun nga, alam naman natin that T is thrust, D is drag, W is weight, and then the theta natin is the flight path or the climb angle. So, rearranging that, um, para ma-isolate yung climb component ng weight is W sine theta is equals to thrust minus drop. So, for the force balance naman, perpendicular to the flight path. So, para sa mga forces normal to the flight path, like, lift is equal, minus weight cosine theta is equals to 0. Thus, we have the lift is equals to the weight cosine theta, or ito. So, relating the climb angle to the vertical velocity naman. So, yung rate of climb natin is defined as the vertical component of the velocity. So, if the aircraft's velocity is v, so rate of climb natin is equals to v sine theta. Yan. So from earlier, we have the weight sine theta is equals to thrust minus drag. So, if isa-solve natin yung sine theta is equals to thrust minus drag all over weight. So, if isa-substitute natin siya into the rate of climb equation, which is this. So, rate of climb is equals to v sine theta, or rate of climb is equals to velocity times the quantity of thrust minus drag all over weight. So, ang ating final formula for the rate of climb is this. So, in terms of power, since 'di ba, power is force times velocity. P is equals to PV. So, power available is equals to PV, and then ating power required is equals to dV. So, if isa-substitute natin siya here, we'll have rate of climb is equals to dV minus dV all over weight, or power available minus power required all over weight. So, ito yung final. So, ito yung final rate of climb equation. So, for that's physical, yung physical meaning nun is, yung rate of climb natin kasi, di ba, nagdadepend siya sa excess power available ng aircraft. So, kapag yung power available is equals to power required, if equals to sa isa't isa, okay, hindi ko pa siya bubulahin, baka malito kayo sa ating formula. So, if power available is equals to power required, ang rate of climb natin is equals to 0. Basically, steady level flight. So, pag yung power available natin naman is greater than the power required, nagka-climb yung aircraft. And then, pag naman yung power available natin is less than the power required, ang aircraft is nag-descend. Okay, so yun lang naman. This is for the RC rate of climb, maximum rate of climb limit. So, for example muna pala tayo. Uh, for example is calculate yung rate of climb versus the velocity at sea level for an aircraft that is 2,950 pounds. So at 100 150 feet per seconds, and then yung power record natin is 32,600 feet pound per seconds, and yung power available is 10,120 feet pound per seconds. So, yan. Compute nyo muna. 5 minutes. Kayo na lang sumagot pala. Alam niyo naman na pag sumagot kayo. 5 minutes. Raise your hand na lang if tapos na.
Minus the differential one. Differential of one is zero.
Ito lang yung formula natin, ha? Ito lang yung formula natin. Kamalito kayo. Hindi na nga pala ako nag-attendance. Nag-ano na lang ako. Nag-add na lang ako ng extension for the attendance. So, kung nag-attendance and then umalis na, edi yun. Goodbye. Absent ka. Okay, yes. Tapos na. Ano sagot mo?
Ma'am, negative 7.62.
Anong unit? Don't forget the unit lagi.
Feet per seconds po.
Okay. So, for the class rep, take note na lang. So, tama. So, solve ko lang mabilis. So, rate of climb natin, di ba, ang ating formula, I mean, is power available minus power required over the weight. So, we'll have 10,120 feet pound per seconds minus 32,600 feet pound per seconds all over the 2,950 pound. So, may later na ako magkakasabi. So, with that, we have negative 22,480 feet pound per seconds. Ano nga interpretation natin kapag negative or greater than the power available, yung power required natin? Anong meaning nga? Anyone? Yes? Wait lang. Yung iba naman sila. Distributed. Elaine? Elaine? Yes? Hello? Hello? Nagsasalita ba siya? Type mo po. Okay, sige. Okay, sige. Go. Compute ko lang to. 2,950 pounds. So, cancel. Sa solution niya ha. This is not for me naman. For you, para ma-make sure nyo na tama yung units mo or yung solution nyo sa dulo. Yes. So, pag ang power available is lower, nagde-descend siya. So, ang rate of climb natin is negative 7.62 feet per second. So, pag negative ito, it means yung aircraft is nagde-descend at that speed. Basically, hindi niya kaya i-climb yung given velocity or the 150 feet per second. So, if PR is greater than the power required is greater than the power available, negative yung excess power natin. Kasi diba, this is excess power. So, yan. Ay, na ano pala. Dito pala ako dapat magsasolve. Okay, so moving on. Ito yung RC max natin. Hindi ko na siya dinerive, pero this is for the piston propeller aircraft. This is for the jet aircraft. And then this is the value ng Z here. So, yun lang naman. Wala tayong problem pa dyan. So, for the time to climb, tapos na pala oras natin. Hindi ko na siya i-derive isa-isa. Pero, from steady gliding flight naman, this is just D is equals to the weight sine theta weight cosine theta. So, pag dinivide both sides to get the glide angle, we'll have tangent theta is equals to d over F. So, in terms of 50 degree naman, is L over D. Oh no, this is, ano pala? This is time to climb pala. Wait, this is for ano kasi? For gliding. For gliding flight to. Wait lang, I'm sorry. Ano ko kasi ubos na yung oras. Hindi ko na ito derive, pero ang need lang naman here is the formula for the time to climb. So, E is equals to or for the final formula, ito na. Ito na siya. Is equals to height all over RC max. Wala pa tayong hinahanap na time dito. Kasi sa dulo pa natin siya nag-comment. So, ito yung sinasabi ko sa gliding flight. Ito kasi tayo may sample problem. So, from the steady gliding flight, D is equals to weight sine theta, and then L is lift, is equals to weight cosine theta. So, if i-divide natin both sides to get the glide angle, we'll have the tan theta. So, in terms of the lift to drag, leftover drug is equals to or or basically this is just the same. So tan theta is equals to 1. Sana nagigets niya kasi this is just derivation lang. So, saan ba tayo natapos? No. Okay. So, ito yung theta is equals to 1 all over L over D. And then, para makuha natin yung formula nito ng ating glide angle. So, i-isolate natin siya. So, minimum glide angle natin is tangent, arctangent, all over L over D max. So, paano po naging minimum to? Dito naman walang minimum. Maximum to. 'Di ba sabi ko sa inyo, pag minimum to, yung nasa ilalim, always maximum. So, dun po ginagamit yung mga lift to drag, maximum lift to drag ratio. Nagigets? So, yun po. Ito yung working formula natin. Ito. And then, in terms of lift to drag pa rin, para naman ma-complete natin yung horizontal distance traveled or the range for a descent from yung altitude natin with the given altitude to. Range or the horizontal distance traveled is equals to height all over tangent theta or the tangent glide angle. That's also equals to height times the quantity left over there. So, this is just, parehas lang. So, kung hindi mo makakompute ito, like, hindi mo to need, you can just compute using ito. If my given to compute the lift to drag ratio, then i-multiply mo lang siya sa height. Pero, if you have the glide angle naman, ito na lang, height all over tangent glide angle or the tangent theta. And then for the max naman, yan, maximum lang din yung for the range, maximum lang din ito. Itong lift to drag ratio natin. Okay, so yun. So para ma-maximize yung range, yung glide at smallest, ganun. Kagaya nga nasabi ko kanina, pag minimum, to, yung nasa ilalim natin is maximum. Oh my gosh, ayaw mag-sulat. Wait lang, naglolo ko lang yung pen ko. Okay. So, eto. Mabilis lang na computation. Tapusin lang natin tong example natin. Solve nyo lang. Ang hinahanap lang is minimum glide angle and maximum range. Ito yung given. Ito lang. Di ba kaya naman i-compute? Kaya i-compute using this given yung lift to drag ratio. Okay, so taas na lang na, erase lang yung hand if tapos na. Mabilis lang to. Ay, sorry. Sasagot nga pala.
Okay, so, okay. So,
Wala pang nakapagsugot ng minimum glide angle, kahit minimum glide angle lang.
Simplify natin. Sa mas mag- Yes, 2x. Sa point na so this is all now yes, yeah, they gave the same answer. Right, so this is gonna simplify further.
Yes, Elaine?
I see of x plus 3.
Ano yan?
Kasi,
Sige. For the maximum range, may nakapagsagot. Dali lang yung maximum range. Since we have the glide angle na. Anyone?
minus,
Minimum glide angle yan, ha? Kasi, yes, tama. Feet? Yes, feet. So, minimum glide angle yan, ha? Take note, minimum. Kasi ang ginamit natin is lift to drag ratio na maximum. Okay, so, solve ko lang. Madali lang, sorry. For the minimum glide angle natin, we have the formula. It's done 1 over D max. So, complete lang natin yung lift to drag ratio natin, yung maximum lift to drag ratio natin mabilis. So, ang ating L over D max is equals to square root of IEAR all over 4 CDO. So, ang ating given na Oswald efficiency factor is 0.8, and then ang ating aspect ratio is 7.37. And then for, let's see the natin, 0.025. So, with that, we have maximum lifted drag ratio natin is 13.6. 61 feet. This is kinok ko na. So, with that, gagamitin natin siya sa ating minimum glide angle. 13.61. So, ang ating minimum glide angle is 4.2, 4.2 lang sa akin kasi kinot ko. Degree. So, for the ano naman natin, maximum range, since minimum yung ating glide angle, wait lang, dito ko na lang ilalagay. Our max or maximum range natin, we have height or altitude times the maximum lifted drag. That is, ano bang height natin? 10,000 feet. Times, ang ating lifted drag ratio na maximum is 13.61 feet. So with that, mako-compute natin na ang ating maximum range is feet. Pero, di ba, dalawa yung ating formula. So, ang another formula natin is yung maximum range natin is height all over tangent theta or the maximum minimum glide angle. So, ang altitude natin or the height is 10,000 feet. Tangent. Minimum glide angle natin is 4.2. So, we have 31,000 feet. So, makikita niyo yung discrepancy nila. Pero, tama yung formula na ginamit nila. So, nakita niyo naman sa prelims nyo, either way, kung iba yung ginamit. Ay, okay, sige. Last na to. Yan. So, for our maximum range, pwede nyo gamitin either way kung saan kayo magiging mas madali. Mas madadali. So, yun lang naman. So, upload ko lang to. No, I can't upload pa kasi may range pa tayo. So, take note nyo lang yung mga formula if ever may sit work. So, yan. End na natin. Sana nag-gets mo naman. Madali lang naman yung mga working formula natin. Diniscuss ko lang from the before natin. Yung mga formula natin before, kung anong relationship. So yan, may question before we end lang. If wala na, let's end the meeting. Hindi na ako nag-attendance kasi may extension na ako for the attendance. Thank you everyone. See you
Goodbye,
later.
thank you.
Okay, thank you.